I'm here with the men with the big sticks. I said sticks. I just want to make sure that's clear. Austin of Lorna Shore to talk about the upcoming new record. I feel the ever black festering within me. It's a long one. I had to read it. Otherwise, I'm gonna miss something. Out September 12th on Century Media. Always a pleasure to see you, man, and to talk about Lorna Shore. How's things going with you?
I'm doing all right. Just it's been busy. Been a very busy year. Finally settled at home for a couple days, and yeah, we're gonna leave for tour soon and rocket across the North America. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm gonna catch you guys right at the tail end of the tour because you're playing in Toronto. I think it's the second or third last date of the tour because then you play Montreal and then the last one is in New York.
Yeah,
So you guys are playing at a casino. Are you ready for that shit?
that's beautiful.
It's a big venue, man. King Diamond played there when they were in town not that long ago. So it's a new venue at a casino, and it's pretty cool. It has a huge dance floor space, if you will, for people to mosh and circle pit and do all of that good shit. Trivium played there as well. So it's a really cool venue, a new place for you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Hold on, sorry. Hey, buddy, take it easy. Sorry, my little dog. He gets mad when the landscapers are outside. Um, But yeah, Toronto, I mean, we've played so many like great places there, even the small places, I mean, we started our journey there at like Sneaky D's, back in the day. And then was the Budweiser
Yeah, you guys
Pavilion?
played Budweiser stage.
Yeah.
I can't remember who you played with. I think it was Gojira,
Go
if I'm
Jerry
not
Mastodon.
mistaken,
Yeah.
with
And that was
Mastodon.
gorgeous. I had an amazing time that day, walking around Toronto. So yeah, I'm just excited to just get back to Toronto. Like they truly are like some of the best fans we have. Canada in general just treats us so well. And honestly, it being, the third to last day, we'll be feeling good by then. So you're probably catching one of the good shows. Definitely,
Watching you guys live, I've seen you guys. I've lost count how many times I've seen you guys live. There's never been a bad one. So
mm,
it doesn't matter if it's early in the tour run, late in the tour run. You guys are super consistent, always putting such an inspiring and energetic performance when you guys hit the stage. It's that is a guarantee. Now, I have to ask you this because Pain Remains is your black album, if you will. Incredibly successful record, opened so many doors for you guys. How much does that success, or at all, did it condition you guys at all from a creative standpoint coming into the studio recording this new album?
yeah, and I think it was like in a non-productive way in the beginning. Um, because I think that like we hold on, sorry. Sorry. Buddy. That's all he needs. Um, from a creative standpoint, I think it just like rocked the boat a bit just because there was a lot of pressure and couldn't really like get a sense of like what the band wanted to do. It was more so listening to what people think we should do, which just doesn't do well. I mean, it's not what we feel in our core. We're not going to write genuine music that way. Um, so we wrote some stuff that like was fun. Could have been something that, makes you more successful, but I think our success, once we like boiled it down, was like we're already very successful. We could never do another thing ever again. And I would say that the band was successful. Um, there's a lot of noise. I definitely think that the noise in the back of our heads just to, continue on this trajectory of like an upward trajectory to get, reach new fans and just be sort of the face of like extreme metal. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it definitely was like eating at us a bit, because we felt like the world was on our backs. We really want to do a good job. And in the same breath, it's like, we all, I have my own apartment. I never had my own apartment before being roommates. We're all like kind of living at home and different responsibilities in life. So it's funny to say like, yeah, what you contribute musically can change your life, but it did. So, um, from the beginning of Pain Remains till now, the beginning of I Feel the Ever Black Fester Within Me album cycle, um, much different jumping point. I think there's just a lot more eyes, there's a lot more people just checking out what we got going on. I know you've been here for a long time, so you've known Lorna Shore for a lot longer than I feel like some new people that I see talking about the band. So it's kind of like I want to stay true to the people that have been around for a long time, and I want them to be, happy that we are doing our thing and not, just selling ourselves out for, pennies and change just to get the exception from people that might not have been here as long or will just be gone in a second. So I think metal is a true, um, yeah, I think metal is a true like
The good thing
genre.
is I can't hear the dog, so that's all good.
You can't? Okay,
No, I
okay,
can't at all.
okay, good. But no, metal is a true genre that like stands the test of time. I think through the 80s, 90s, every iteration of metal, everything has gone amazing. So, um, yeah, it's just the new age of metal, and I think that there's not a lot of extreme metal. So we want to put on for the extreme side, There's bands that we love that I don't think anyone ever gave credit to. It's like Fallujah. Any band that we listen to a million times when we write music, it's Fallujah, it's Zenith Passage, it's Necrophagus, it's The Faceless. Um, it's just want to do a good job of representing that side of metal.
One thing I had to go back. I thought I knew, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to overstep, so I went back because listen to this album. I was like, wow, this feels longer than it doesn't feel longer, but looking at it, it felt around the same time as Pain Remains as far as the duration of the album. It's I think 5 minutes longer. But I went back to check the previous other albums, the other three records before Pain Remains, because I was like, I don't think those were that long. And then I went back and it was like 39 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Then you guys jumped to an hour and 5 minutes. The reason I'm bringing this up is because we live in a society where people have extremely short attention span, yet you guys keep increasing the lengths of the records with every single album, and not losing fans in the process. What's the secret?
I don't know. We've been told to write shorter songs our whole career. And again, like I know there's songs that are very long. Like Oblivion was our first single and it was a long song, but I think that as we were writing a song like that, we did the homework of let's cut this part in half. Let's this is really long and this is like I think gonna be a first single. Is it too long for a first single? And the more we cut stuff back, I think it just took away from what we were trying to tell in that song and like a story. I think it's more of like a storytelling and a songwriting. So, even the moments that I think maybe people's attention spans might be like, oh my God, this is dragging on too long. I think that's just more of a societal thing, if I'm being honest. Like I think that in the room, everyone agreed that, yeah, that takes me out of this thing that we're trying to convey and I listen to music that you just bask in. What I mean? There's black metal, there's, bands like Oathbreaker and um, like very like atmospheric death metal or black metal stuff that it's like there's not much going on, but you love listening to because it just feels a certain way. So it's like I know we live in the age of like, yeah, like get to the point of the song, let's get through it, let's be done. But like I kind of want people to sit there for a second and then re-listen and find things that they like more about it. So I think really it's just, yeah, like how do we tell this dense story, whether Will has a lot to say or Adam's, contributing a lot to like, the feeling of the songs, and then Andrew, putting the production on top. It's like everyone's telling their story within the song, and sometimes it just you get a little carried away.
Needs more
Sometimes,
time. Sometimes you just need some more time.
yeah.
It's interesting that you brought Oblivion up because when we were checking out the video on our channel, neither one of us was completely sold on that as a single. Maybe because of the length and the kind of the built-in chaos that exists within the journey of that track. Listening to the record now from start to finish, I gotta say, the singles you guys release sound completely different to me in the context of the album versus listening to them just as a standalone track. Are you guys aware of that as well? That these songs in the context of the record have a completely different life of their own?
Oh, I mean, that's the goal. What I mean? It's definitely tough to choose singles because I've definitely listened to like a band and been like, I'm not sold, first track. That's a tough one. That's for the first one's always the
Yeah.
toughest one. It's like, how do you want people to view the record? And Oblivion, I just thought felt like a great representation of us meshing um, the atmospheric side of the band and the emotional side with the heavy side. So that song was like, let's make an emotional, heavy song that's also aggressive. Because we've had songs like Soul's Existence, we've had the Pain Remains trilogy, but nothing ever had, all those songs didn't have any heavy elements and like kind of aggressive stuff. So that song, the goal once we were kind of going through, it's like, what's the reason for this song? It's like, oh, just meshing those two worlds that we have kind of kept separated for a long time. Um, but yeah, I mean, and building the track list, to be fair, it was like kind of tough in the beginning because of how, in my opinion, different the songs are.
Hmm.
I'm like, how do we want to take them on this journey? Where are we starting? Where are we ending? I think that was easy. It's just in the middle, you know? So it's like, I definitely do agree with you where some of the songs have a life of its own. I haven't listened to the album straight through with the track listing much recently, but when we were conducting the track listing, I'm like, oh yeah, that song just feels great. It really can make a big difference where the songs are on the album, you know, and I think that they all
100%.
home. You know, Unbreakable, by the time Unbreakable comes in, you're like, oh my God, I needed that. Like I've been, you know, in this lull. And then In Darkness actually is one of my favorite songs. That originally was like, you know, deep in the track list, 8 or 9, moved it up to third. And that kind of smooths you into Unbreakable because I just thought, oh, Oblivion straight into Unbreakable. I don't think it's selling it well, you know. So and obviously, yeah, you've listened to the record, which is sick. I haven't been able to talk to many people that have heard everything. So um yeah, and like I don't know, it's just
And
I'm happy that you
let me
say
give you
I'm
an
happy that
example.
you say that because I would agree. I think that the singles themselves, you know, are easily to be judged as a standalone, but you know, we write records, you know. I think that's a big thing. We write an album that you're meant to listen to start to finish. How many people will do that, dedicate out to their time to do that? Don't know. But we try our best to like go back to that OG thought of you put on a vinyl, you put on a CD and you listen to it all the way through and you're happy and you're not skipping, you know, a track
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
you know.
One song for me that really plays into what you're saying is Glenwood, because that track is one of my favorite songs on the album. But I think that song, had you guys released that as a first single, it perhaps would feel quite empty considering what else is around it. But in the track listing that you guys built, you need Glenwood to come when it comes for you to almost just kind of catch your breath and ride the wave into the remaining of the album. So I thought the track listing from that standpoint was perfect in order to emphasize the individual characteristics that the songs have.
No, thank you. Yeah, Glenwood is one of my favorite songs, for sure. I think it's the song I listen to the most. It's a song that like we always, Adam and I would reference like Funeral Moon from Flesh Coffin, where it's like when we wrote that song, and you listen to it, you're like, I can't even believe that we wrote this song. Like this is like if someone else wrote this song, I'd be like, oh my God, I wish I wrote that song. But now it's like that feeling that it was very accomplishing. It felt very good. It's one of the later ones that we wrote. It wasn't like an idea in the beginning. I think that came from like the one of the last sessions we had, and the song came together very well. Soon as Will did one pass of vocals, I think we were like genuinely stoked. And like it's a song that was very vulnerable for Will. And like it was kind of beautiful to like read the lyrics, be with Will in the room while he was doing the song. And like I learned about Will's life that of things that I never knew, even though I've known him for a long time. I didn't know any of these things. And I learned about him and his life and his experiences through that song being in the room. So, you know, it's a very powerful song. I think it's gonna do good. But again, if you release it first, people are like, yeah, well, you know, where's the breakdown? And then yeah, so now
I,
we're
I,
just
I was
yeah,
just going to say that. I was just going to say that. And actually, that takes me to my next point is I can't believe I'm going to ask you this considering that you're the drummer, but is the breakdown starting to become overstated, if you will, and not just in Lorna Shore music, but in music in general and heavy music in general?
I mean, yeah, some like I mean, I'm sure you listen to the record. There's like a lot of songs that do not have like a big breakdown moment. You know, Glenwood does not, Forevermore does not. In Darkness, there's like a fun, like chuggy sort of rhythmic thing, but it doesn't have a breakdown
Yeah.
in that song. Yeah, and I think we just stopped calling for it when it didn't need to be there. Like in any record before this, we'd be like, well, Pain Remains, we kind of like learned that lesson, but we'd be like, oh, there has to be a breakdown or else no one's gonna like us anymore. Um, but that's just because of our roots. Like we're from New Jersey, New Jersey VFW metal. no one talked about you if you had a great, gorgeous melody and you were playing in a VFW hall. They only talked about how hard people moshed at that show. Oh my God, you got to go to the show. It's so violent. Lorna Shore's crazy. Like, so that like upbringing is sort of like traumatic. It's because it's like, oh, are people going to enjoy this song if it doesn't have that shock value thing? And again, songs like Unbreakable just felt like a good pressure point to like hit a part like that. But I think we're more conscious, and I think that I mean, yeah, as a drummer and someone that like genuinely loves breakdowns, I've like every band I listen to is just the heaviest, craziest thing you ever listen to. Like I do enjoy it, but I also see a new side of the band through this record, and I think that the things that our fans are more welcoming of are the things that I never pictured. Like a song like Unbreakable is pretty. I was the most curious to see what people would think about that song than any song we've ever released. Because I'm like, in my opinion, this is very different. I don't know how people are gonna react. And a lot of people were like, "This is one of my favorite songs that the band's ever put out." Oh my God, I needed that. There's so much going on in the world. That's just a breath of fresh air. I'm like, okay, so I think we can open up the doors even more, going forward. Because I'm like, people are much more accepting of the things that I'm a little insecure and nervous about showing with the band. And Glenwood's going to be another one of those. I'm really curious to see what people think about that song.
My favorite, I gotta tell you that much, is my favorite song on the record. I fucking can't get enough of that song. This is, in that song specifically, it's a very dark track, but the album overall is very dark. I would say this is a darker album than Pain Remains.
I would think so too. And it's funny, yeah, because I think there are so many more like shining moments, but like overall, the tone of a lot of things, like Unbreakable obviously is like the most positive thing I think the band's ever put out. And then you have like Prison of Flesh or even Glenwood. Like Glenwood's more of a melancholic ballad. It's
Mhm.
not like and Lionheart too. I think Lionheart has a bit more of a positive energy to it. Because that song was meant to be fun. But I think we just push those boundaries a little bit, like if we're gonna do something very like positive and like fun, it should be just that. And then if we're gonna do something dark like Prison of Flesh or A Nameless Hymn, or Death Can Take Me, it's just gonna be full on onslaught. You know what I mean? So, when we're doing these songs, like there's just a big Venn diagram of, these two circles that interject, and then there's something in the middle, where's the similarities, what's different. And yeah, I think that what makes up a Lorna Shore song it's pretty simple, to be honest. But what feelings are we tapping into? Where does the lyrics, drive the listener to? Yeah, I think we went through some shit, so it's no shame or no surprise that some things came out a bit darker for sure.
One of the things that I think, at least for me, and I think a lot of people are gonna, I hope a lot of people gravitate to it because the quality is undeniable, is the solos on this record.
Yes.
It's not normal, and you know that for a band as heavy as you guys are, a deathcore band at heart, to have these many guitar solos, these this deep. Like it's not. I'm not talking about just a little lick. I'm talking about like full on Fallujah style guitar solos on the record, and outstanding guitar solos throughout. And I think that to me is definitely one of the elements that you guys pushed a little bit further than ever before. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, more trying to be more intentional with the solos. Like in Darkness, I think is my favorite solo section because we bring the music all the way down. We've done something we've never done where it's like a full on like hi-hat, close hat groove into this big open up. And that's like bands like Fallujah. Like I was just with Scott in Nashville, hanging out with Scott, and Scott's like easily one of our biggest influences, a great friend. I always tell him how amazing every record he's ever made was. But we take from those people a lot of like, yeah, like those solos are very much more emotional. And I think on the last record, we built in the solo sections and then Adam did them later. And then I went back to the studio and we changed the drum parts for the solos. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Like in the past, it was just like copy and paste drums, let Adam go. But it's like, why are we not working together on this? So I think there was just a lot more intention with the solo sections and a lot more balance and like working together. Cause yeah, I think it's just as important, like the rhythm behind him and following him and sometimes, there's something I'm doing that he latches onto, and then that can go either way. Sometimes it's like, I can't do anything but shred because there's just blast beats here. It's like, all right, well, let's take the drums away. Just you play what you want to play. And then we add the drums on top. So yeah, like a lot more intention with the solos this time around. And Adam does a great job, and I know he harps on himself to, do something different every record. And I can hear that across the board with how certain solos are treated, especially if you go back and listen to what we used to do. Is like, yep, it was Yngwie Malmsteen, Ripper, 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 play as fast as you can solos. Whereas now I think he's starting to really find his sound in that space, because not everyone is a guitar soloist, you know what I mean? Not everyone is a riffer, I think he's just really finding his home in like the expression of like a guitar solo because it's a big thing, and I think it's one of those things whether you play guitar or not, it stands out. So it's
I
cool. When someone rips a guitar solo, you're like, yo, hell yeah, like yeah, that takes balls, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
I know. It's really cool. And I want to ask you about your drums because I mean we've talked about everything that you don't do, but we haven't asked you about the things that you do do. And I was curious to find out from you how different or is it different at all the rig that you use in the studio for an album like this versus the rig that then you take on the road on the upcoming headlining tour?
drums.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the drum kit, it's the one at the studio. It is a Tama, so it did work out that he ended up getting a Tama drum set. So otherwise, I would have brought mine because I was like, yeah, I just want to put on for the brand, and obviously they sound the best. The snare that I brought for this record was the intention of that was I've always recorded with the one snare that I've owned for every record we've ever done. 14 by 8 Sonar Danny Carey signature. Any record I've ever done since I was 12 was recorded on that snare and it's a beast. It's amazing. We A beat it with the new one. It's still the best snare I have, but it actually got warped. So when we put the head on it, I was like, oh my God, it's like kind of egg shaped. I need to go get it fixed because it's just been through hell. So we used this snare. Cymbal wise, yeah, I mean we stayed true. That was a big thing because I think I added more stuff over the years. So I was like, I want all this because sometimes I'm learning a song and I'm like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, or I wish I had, more of like a in the choruses we'll have the big crashes. Like I have like the quick ones in the front, for all the fun stuff. But then when we open up, I want these big 20-inch, 21-inch, just soaring, beautiful big crashes. So yeah, we definitely did much better job of that on, or just again more intentional to be like, yep, that's how you would do it live. Let's do it here. So it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you take any liberties live in terms of how the songs were recorded versus how you then play them, or you stay very close to what the original material was?
I try to stay as close as I can. Sometimes, I mean, there'll be a hiccup. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, how did that happen? Like how did I go from here to this? I was like, okay, we're gonna have to put in some kick drums so I can get over there. You know what I mean? Um, Again, still also this time around, I think the best job we have ever done. I actually found with playing these new songs and learning them, I was like, felt much more natural because now that we play more shows and we played the whole last record and stuff like that, I'm like, I really want this to be exactly how I would play it. So even in a moment where it's like, all right, the blast beat starts right away, I know in my mind, if I'm coming from the right to the left, I'm gonna skip 2 bars and then come in. So it's written like that, So I think this record is the most human, honestly. Like I definitely wanted it to feel the most human, even if people are like, "Oh my God, it's so inhuman, fast drums, blah blah blah." They clearly don't. Most of those people don't know Fallujah or Aborted or some of these bands that pull off some crazy stuff. So I'm like, yeah, you think my songs are hard? I could name you 20 people that are much more psychotic than me. But I definitely wanted to add that human touch and that human element to the new record.
You guys going out on a headlining run, we talked about it earlier on, starts September 17th, just a few days after the album comes out, 5 days after the album comes out, to be precise, with the Black Dahlia Murder and Shadow of a Ten, two outstanding bands. So great package that you guys are taking across North America. For you, from a personal standpoint, do you have a routine in order to stay healthy throughout a run as deep as this one is, and considering how many tours you guys are on?
Yeah, I think a lot of that work is done usually at home. You build healthy habits at home and you take them on tour. You always hear people say, "Oh, this tour, I'm gonna start working out on tour. I'm gonna not drink on this tour. Or I'm gonna eat healthy on the tour." But if you're not eating healthy at home, you're not gonna feel that when you go home. So, I would say, yeah, over the last like I mean, yeah, almost, probably the last 6, 7 months, I've really started to take better care of myself. Going to the gym, eating better, getting a proper night's sleep. Not, I've never really been a big drinker, but we'll drink a little bit before we go on stage just to shake the nerves, and then after the show, we usually eat and then go to bed. Um, so I think, yeah, just having a routine really helps. Because everything's very routine. You play the same songs every day. It's the same lights. It's the same this. The only thing different is the venue and maybe what food is accessible in the area, and then you can go have some fun and find something else. But overall, like touring is a big routine day after day. So I think if you do too much outside of that, especially for me, if I don't have a routine on tour, it just throws off my day. If I want to wake up, have a coffee, go for a walk, go to some shops, come back, sound check. It's like you kind of have to like do that every day. That's what works for me, and getting a proper night's sleep, and also just like as far as like getting out on stage. I mean, I'll be honest, I've been doing this for 13 years. It's still very hard. It's still very hard, and the stakes are higher. I think the beginning of tours, like some of the most insane brain mind fucks that you could have, because you're like, oh my God, we're here. I've been imagining this moment for months. I've been picturing it, and now I'm here. And then once it all kicks in and the show goes, you're like, oh, we're back on the saddle. We're here. You know what I mean? Like we're back on the racetrack. We're going. So yeah, there's a lot of anticipation in the lead up, and I think just having healthier habits when you're home, having a clear mind, and just having a bit of a discipline, to understand how your body works. Um, I definitely don't eat much before we play. Like I'll wake up and probably have like a decent meal, and then I don't eat really all day, because if I eat too close to the set or even like a couple hours, I just feel sluggish. So I've learned that that works for me, and I also have to take a nap. That's the non-negotiable. Have to take a nap and erase all the day's worries, and then wake up maybe 20 minutes before and then go on stage every day, every show.
You're a better man than most. Last time Flesh God Apocalypse was in Toronto, I was hanging out with Eugene. Before
Yeah.
he went to play, I ordered him Uber two big bad-sized boxes of poutine. I was like, dude, you're gonna eat two fucking boxes of poutine before playing a show?
There's no way. That's just
Whoa. I was like, dude, you're like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
that's immediate jail time. I could not. That's but you know what? Eugene's an animal. He's got a lot to fuel, man. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he
He's
is a big dude and he's working out a lot. So, but still, I was impressed that he, chugged that shit down like nothing, and then still went on and played an awesome show. Like, I mean, I couldn't do that. Like, there's no way. After eating two boxes of poutine, I need a nap.
I mean, you probably won't see me for a couple months if I did that. That's a heavy dish.
Yeah, that is definitely a heavy dish. Austin, man, thank you very much for your time. I want to congratulate you on the album and congratulate you on your own personal life. I know you're taking some steps forward in your personal life, not only getting an apartment, but you're becoming an adult, if you will, with your,
Yes.
with your life decisions and your partner. Congratulations on that front. So,
Thank you.
all the best to you both. All the best to you and the band, and I'll see you guys in Toronto.
Hell yeah, Pedro. I'll see you soon.
Take care, man. All the best.
Thank you. Bye.